Good evening. My name is Isabel Celestine, and I'm here to present to you the history of Bleeding Kansas. I hope you enjoy. The history starts off with the new territory of Kansas in 1854 that caused many problems, such as the uprising brutal guerrilla warfare between anti-slavery and pro-slavery. Bleeding Kansas was also a key precursor to the Civil War, and it continued the ongoing debate of slavery in the United States. The passage of the Kansas-Nebraska Act in May of 1854. It had three key factors. First, the key factor, the Kansas-Nebraska Act organized the territory of the West, Kansas and Nebraska. These territories were never designated to be free or enslaved by Congress. Second, rushing by free state and slave state proponents to Kansas, they tried to legalize or prohibit slavery there. It was assumed that Nebraska would be a free state, and it opened the possibility for slavery to exist in Kansas. The Missouri Compromise. Under the Missouri Compromise, slavery would be prohibited in the territory of Kansas. Now, there were many struggles over the election. It was the determination to legalize slavery. March 30th of 1955, Missourians found a loophole of residency to vote in the first territory election and stuffed the ballot box with fake ballots. Now, there were many consequences to their actions. One consequence was pro-slavery men were voted in the territory legislature, passing a law that the possession of abolitionist literature was a capital offense. John Brown, who was an American abolitionist, responded to the violence of Lawrence, which was called the Sack of Lawrence. A group of border crossers between Kansas and Missouri set buildings on fire, destroyed the printing press of abolitionist newspaper, and ignited a guerrilla war between pro-slavers and anti-slavers. Now, John Brown wanted vengeance. So John Brown, along with his 4 sons and 3 others, forced 5 Southerners from their homes and murdered them. These Southerners did not own slaves, but they did, in fact, support the slavery extension in Kansas. Now, during the Bleeding Kansas, blood was shed by both sides until 1859, and it led to mass terror among the territory and small violences. Now, there were arguments and debates between the Republicans and the Democrats. The Republicans used Bleeding Kansas as a weapon in the election of 1856, saying the Democrats sided with the pro-slavery forces carrying out the violence. Neither party was innocent. Now, the lasting impact of Bleeding Kansas. Wyandotte, in 1859, Kansas adopted a free state constitution at a convention, and the Senate refused to let Kansas in the Union as a free state. After it succeeded in Lincoln's election in 1860, Congress approved the Wyandotte Constitution. In January of 1861, Kansas entered the Union 3 months before the Civil War began. Now, Bleeding Kansas was a leading cause of the Civil War, but it was not the main start of it. And it ended around the start of the Civil War in 1861. Now, Bleeding Kansas became a key precursor to the Civil War, and it continued the ongoing debate of slavery in the United States. And it was a new territory of Kansas in 1854 that caused problems such as the uprising brutal guerrilla warfare between pro-slavery and anti-slavery. Thank you for taking the time to watch this, and I hope you enjoyed.